Now, this is an update to my last video, should you get the jab or not, and some information. You're really going to want to watch this video to the end because I think it's pretty scary what I got to tell you. Something for you to really think about. Now, when I made the last video, I had it done that day and I had no side effects, no nothing. Well, later, the very next day, I ended up with a really sore arm. I mean, I had like a level 5 out of 10 pain. So did my son. And as long as we didn't move our arms, then it didn't hurt. But if we moved it, it did hurt. After 3 days, and on the third day, we had light diarrhea. And that was it. That's all we had happen to us. So it really wasn't that bad. I'm not looking forward to the second shot. I'd be lying if I said it doesn't make me nervous. But I am getting it. And as you listen to this video, you'll see why. Now, there's a lot of things going on right now in the U.S. where people are up in arms. I mean, there are a lot of companies like federal government and other companies are saying, you either get the jab or we're going to check you every day. And everybody's up in arms to rebel, my body, my right. And I agree with that. But they're saying they just won't have the time to do it. And you seem to misunderstand how businesses work. And I don't know why that is. What's going to happen is they're just going to say, look, we're so tied up with testing right now, you're going to have to take a week off of work, and they're going to cut into your paycheck. And you're going to have to sit at home and wait a week if you're fine doing that. Most people can't. They got to pay a mortgage and take care of their kids. So they're going to find a way to maneuver you into that situation, whether or not. Some people will sue. It will go nowhere. Nowhere whatsoever. Because apparently businesses have the right to do that. One thing about USA that's quite interesting, they say we have freedom of choice and that's what we fought for and everything. But as soon as you work for a company, it's almost like your soul belongs to them. Even when you join the American Armed Forces, you no longer have freedom. The American government owns you. And you must do what the American government tells you. That's what you signed to. So I don't think we have freedom like we used to have. It seems like corporations control us more than we want to believe. Now, if you run your own business, it's a different story. And that's the only time you have a lot of freedom. So if you want that type of freedom, then maybe you should consider running your own business. Now, my last video got a lot of thumbs down. Believe me, I don't care. But what I found interesting was that if you believe my body, my right, your body, your right, and I'm not trying to tell you to do it, then why would you thumbs it down? That's almost like saying nobody should get the jab, and it's a communist country, and I'm going to put my mark here, because that's exactly what you said, which totally contradicts what you apparently believe. A lot of preppers are, anti-jab, and that's fine, but they really take it on like it's some type of religion, which is really amazing. Now, even on Facebook, when I'm watching, a lot of religious institutes they believe God will protect them. I've never heard so much horsepucky in all my life. They actually put a label of God on it to think it's going to protect them. That's like saying, okay, God's on my side, I'm going to jump off this cliff. I mean, it's just complete stupidity what I see. But when you watch those end of the world movies, you always see that. You always see, 200 or 300 people in church praying that nothing happens to them and they will be protected by God. And then all of a sudden the church is, rolled over by a boulder or something. Like, common sense just doesn't exist with them. Now, I got some scary things, and I hope I'm wrong. But for the few that watch me, you tell me if this makes sense to you. The Delta, it took 12 to 14 times to mutate to that. It didn't do it one time. It had to mutate over and over and over. Now, you can look all this up. And it's apparently as catchy as chickenpox now. And it's taking lives left, right, and center. They say it's taking people that did not get the jab. And that's what the numbers say. But there are still people, passing from it that did take the jab. But the numbers are lower. And like I said, the reason for that is because the 75-25 difference. Now, there's 3 different ones you can take, and they all have different ratios, and you can go look them up yourself. But this thing was man-made if we both agree on this, okay? Now, if we are agreeing on this, that it's man-made, if I was to make this type of thing attack people, and it got out of a lab, how would I make it? What would be my goal? I mean, obviously, take out as many people as possible. Now, I did see an article in China where they said it was invented to take out the old people because China has such a large population. It was supposed to stay there and remove the old people because the government's sick and tired of paying them. I can see that there. Their government's vicious, man. Human lives mean nothing there. I'm surprised they haven't revolted. But if I was to make it, I would make it so it continues to spread. Like, I know they're going to make, a jab to protect themselves. Now, if we all, and this will never happen in the U.S. with anything, I don't care if we prove something's 200% safe. If we all would have took the jab back when, like a year ago when it came out, then we probably wouldn't be dealing with this Delta. We probably would have burnt it out. But we didn't. We've only got 50%, 30% in some states. I think Mississippi's 30%. I mean, it's low. And their hospitals are overwhelming. And, President Biden has been urging people to get the jab. Many people have. Now, even the news, and this I find amazing, even the news I've seen questioned Biden and yelled at him and said, didn't you say that if you take the jab, you're 100% covered? And he did. I'm really glad he turned around and yelled at that reporter and he said, well, that was then, and I got news for you. You're obviously not very bright. A virus actually mutates. And 2 months from now, it could be something different. 6 months from now, it becomes something different. So basically, he had to educate him on the 75-25 deal. And at the same time, this reporter was just asking such a stupid question, as if he's just looking for ratings. Now, I catch these things. I don't know if other people do. And believe it or not, I've never liked any political figure, whether it be Trump or Biden. Because I always figure they have their own agendas for their own things. And that's pretty easy to figure out. I mean, some people would question, well, why are you asking everybody to get the jab, but yet people on diabetes got to spend, anywhere from $150 to $600 a month? And that's true. So it makes you question, why ain't this free? Or how about chemo or any of these other things that people talk about? I mean, you take a person that's addicted to drugs, they can go and get, I forget the name of the drug, but they can get it for free. And basically it helps them get off drugs. And that drug's not cheap either. So we'll help a drug addict get off drugs, but we won't help a diabetic that needs his insulin to keep him alive. Because it's a market to make money. So keep that in mind. Yet here we are yelling for everybody to get the jab. But yet we're not doing it with diabetes. And there's other ones, chemo and other things you can question about that. Now, when you put some of this stuff into perspective, all you got to do is ask yourself some common sense. Why are they pushing the jab so hard? And diabetes, they're not. They're not giving you insulin for free, which is made very cheaply. So that makes you question your mind. Now, at the same time, we've got the virus mutating like crazy. And it's not calming down. And if I was to invent the virus, or you, wouldn't you invent it to be deadly, more deadly, more deadly, more deadly? Get it out of control? If the whole objective is to kill? Because, like I said, it was 13 to 15 times to mutate to the Delta. And now it's spreading like chickenpox. And it's out of control. Now, what happens when it mutates 20 more times? And then 20 more times? Some people believe it'll burn out. I don't believe it will burn out. I believe it's designed to keep mutating. They're even talking about a jab strictly for Delta. And some people have said, so what's this mean? We're going to need 10 different jabs? Possibly. Because not everybody's getting it. And that's the direct problem. You could be looking at, in the next coming months, I mean, I'm talking millions because of how aggressive it is now. And it's really scary. Now, I took the job because I can't afford a hospital bill. I mean, it'll be over 100K. Forget it. And it's sad, but for them to put liens or stuff on my house and everything, and now my family has to suffer, I would much rather die. And that's sad to say, especially when most countries have some type of universal health care. The United States is one of two that I think still doesn't. Especially how big pharma and drug companies just continuously make money off us. I mean, they're happy we get sick. But a lot of people have also said that it's not FDA approved, that's why I don't want it. They're going to approve it in 2 months. And then there's something else you have to consider too. They are making this mandatory with federal government, city workers, stuff like this. Even Google is, for their workers. And you got to ask yourself, so why are they so gung-ho with doing this? And yet apparently we have a worker shortage. Everybody's having a hard time getting workers. The only places I find having a hard time getting workers are shitty jobs that don't want to pay a decent living wage. But those questions have to go through your brain, and then you have to think, wow, if this did mutate, and then all of a sudden, you do decide you want to get the jab, well, there's something else that's going to happen down the line here that you're not seeing. My local pharmacies, the one day said, oh, we're only giving out the, the Johnson & Johnson. You'll have to come Tuesday if you want the Moderna, because they go bad. And we have that happening right now where the different jabs are going bad. So what's going to finally happen, maybe 2 months, maybe 4 months from now, when everybody does race to get the jab, you're not going to have a choice. You're probably going to walk in and say, look, I need to get the jab. And they're going to say, well, we got his Johnson & Johnson. And if you don't want that, too bad. Take it or die. You're not going to have a choice like you do right now. Your choices are going to be removed as it goes on. Now, apparently, Biden gave all different states money for emergency relief, and he's suggesting they use the emergency relief where if you get the jab, you get $100. What surprised me, Tennessee's actually considering it, because Tennessee wasn't using that money at all. Which now goes to question, why weren't they using that money for helping people? So the government could pocket it and do something else with it? I mean, there's so much corruption at every level going on right now. It's really, really scary when your officials can't even be trusted. And then you have tons of people that are running propaganda. But one thing's for sure, you can be totally against this all you want with getting the jab. Now, some people believe, oh, I might get cancer 10 years down the line. I am 57 years old. I'll be lucky if I live another 10 or 20. So I think it's something I really don't need to worry about that much. And like I said, there ain't too many things that I'm afraid of. But if I got to lay in a hospital for 2 months not breathing, wondering if I'm going to live or die, and just live in there and just lay in bed completely in pain, that's not a fun trip I want to do. Or if I deal with my arm hurting for 3 days or shivers for a couple of days, and I happen to get lucky and that 75% kicks in and protects me, and I don't end up in a hospital and I'm laying in bed for a week even, well, that's a hell of a lot easier to take. But even if you take the jab, you're only 75% sure with the Moderna. The other ones are different, especially with this new Delta. You don't know Hopefully it's enough to give you some armor. I mean, I've bought in some N95 masks off Amazon. Do not buy the cloth masks anymore. I've seen many places and senators state that the cloth masks were only said to use because they ran out of N95s and our emergency personnel, our nurses, our doctors couldn't get them. So we were trying to redirect the public into some type of safety. And a lot of people said, well, I can breathe through the mask. And that's all true. But you have to understand, when you got a mask on, you're less likely to touch your face. And I think that was the whole objective behind it, because you got something there. So now you're not doing this with your eyes, and it's apparent. It's in your way, so you're not so quick to touch it. But they have said N95 is the best. So your cloth masks are no longer any good. Head over to Amazon and go buy some. I'll put a couple links in the bottom. They have colored ones now and stuff that are a lot better than your cloth masks. And I don't know, I think they're $40 or whatever. Probably the best investment you're ever going to make in your life. But start wearing N95 masks. Stay away from crowds. And just don't be stupid. I mean, you deserve what you get if you're the type of person that says, oh, they opened up the concerts. They opened up the football, the basketball. And you attend like you think you're indestructible and you believe this is all bogus. I wish you luck. Because I've had clients die from this. And I've talked to their wives. And it's super sad. People I've known for over 20 years have passed away because of this. It's not bogus. It's real. And it's getting worse. Now, some people I know have gotten it. They suffered hard. They were at home for a couple weeks, but they came through. They had a pretty powerful immune system. Other people didn't. And nobody knows how it's going to react on their body. You don't. You can think, oh, I'm never getting sick. That's not true with this. And if this thing mutates 20 more times and continues to mutate, where are you going to be then? We could be into a lot more than we actually believe. And it would all make sense then. It would make sense why our government months ago was saying get the jab, because they knew. But they didn't tell us. You know, if they would have told you, look, this thing is going to mutate 60 times. There's nothing that's going to stop it if we don't get the jab, and millions are going to die. They would have said that. People probably would have been quitting their jobs because they're scared of getting sick. And then that hurts our economy. Our senators and our governor, they're on a balance beam to where they got to be very careful what they say. And you'll notice they've all gotten the jab. And they've actually gone to the point of forcing people, like people that work for the federal government or whatnot, to get it. Lotteries, get $100. And it's just amazing. But this is far from over, not even close. And I urge you, if you're on the fence about getting the jab, get off of it and go get it. At least get one shot. Get the Moderna, one shot. And like I said, I'm not forcing you to. I'm not ordering you to. It's your body, your choice. But all the research I've done and all the information I've looked up in the background, you're not going to stand a chance if you get this without a jab. You're going down. And especially if it continues to mutate. If you want to give yourself a chance, really, really consider getting this. And don't think it's 100%. Don't think it's a cure. Get that out of your friggin' head. Every one of them's different. And go do your research and look up what the differences are. I mean, I think Pfizer's got a little bit more protection to it. But really do your own research. All you're doing when you get the jab is you're giving yourself pretty much a 75% chance of making it through. You still can catch it. You still can end up in the hospital if you get yourself in large groups and you're stupid. I mean, Nashville downtown is nothing but a drinking town. I mean, they got entire buses where you just drive around getting drunk on a bus. Bars everywhere. All it is a bunch of drunks getting drunk. And they couldn't wait to get in those bars. And they're there 3-4 days a week. They're in those bars getting drunk. That is what they enjoy doing in their life. Nothing else, which is sad. But they've created an entire market out of people getting drunk. So, like I said, if you're on the fence, really think about getting out, because I don't think this thing's going to stop mutating. And right now it's Delta. I mean, there's other ones out there already. This is continuing to you know, turn into something like a superbug. And I don't think anybody's stopping it. You want to give yourself protection, because I would say you're probably going to get it sooner or later, no matter how many crowds you stay out of. But the longer you stay out of it, the more chances they'll have a different jab to protect you against something else. I wouldn't doubt we're going to see a jab for the Delta, and I wouldn't doubt we see a jab for the next one. And they're chasing their tail like a dog chasing their tail to stay ahead of this. And I really think there's a lot of things, like I said, they're not telling us. When I get the second jab, I'll let you know what that's like. I don't know, maybe I'll just come back after 7 days of taking the second jab and tell you what happened. Because obviously when you get the first, it's like you don't realize what's coming until after. So anyhow, that's just my thoughts on what I think is coming down. And it's not to scare you. It's all common sense. If I was to design something to take you out, oh, I would design it to mutate like crazy. And faster than you can actually develop some type of vaccine. Literally, that's what I would do. Wouldn't you? So, it's just really scary what's going to be coming soon. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Let me know down in the comment section if you think this thing's going to mutate more. I'd like your view on this. And did you really know there was only a 75-25 chance and you still could get it? And you thought the vaccine was 100%? Let me know down in the comment section. Catch you guys on the next one.